This daf Yerushalmi Terumos, an article Oz Bahar edition with daf Pei Gimel Amud Aleph. Right at the top, Amar Rabbi Shemi, which in the Vilna is on Mem Vav Amud Aleph. About halfway down, about 15, more or less, exactly halfway down the page. My mother is on the one line, and Rav Shimi is on the next line. So, it'll be easy to find. So the Gemara says, no, let's find the Kabanaki. Yes, the reason it's hard to find in the in the Kavanaki is that there are actually few more words missing in the Kavanaki. Okay, Amar Mona Rabbi Shimi. Rabbi Shimi Atul Amrim Yode Rabbi Eliezer Le Rabbi Yeshua. Now that should be Rabbi Shimon. Yeah, the Rabbi Eliezer was married to Rabbi Shimon. Because it's a lesson Rabbi Yeshua don't seem to agree on anything. So the you say that which Rabbi Yochanan said before, Rabbi Yeshua. That which Rabbi Yochanan said before, Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Shimon say the same thing. And now the Matame to Shumi Hadayim, if it's even Shumi Tluya, like Chavis Rishonim in our Mishnah, it's difficult. I feel Rabbi Yeshua, Leisle, who the Rabbi Yeshua. Because since Rabbi Yeshua, even in itself, doesn't hold Rabbi Yeshua. Because Rabbi Yeshua in the end of the Mishnah of Pesachim says that you born both of them together, Tluya and Tameo. So it's Mati Matame to be Matame, Tluya B'Yadayim. So Amar Leisle said Tanoim Inun. He said that there's a Machlekes Tanoim. The Mishnah was said by two different Tanoim. Hacha Rabbi Yossi, Rabbi Yeshua, it's Rabbi Yossi in the name Rabbi Yeshua. In other words, the Chavis Rishonim in our Mishnah is Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi, of course, holds that you can't be Matame Truma Tluya. You have to burn the Tluya Bifnei Atzma and the Tmei Bifnei Atzma. And Taman, Rabbi Shimon Shem, Rabbi Yeshua, there it's Rabbi Shimon name Yeshua, that what says in the end of the Mishnah that he burned both of them together. That's Rabbi Shimon. And we know Rabbi Shimon holds there is no Chiyuv Shmira for Truma to Truma Tluya. Okay, now we go back to the Mishnah. It says you can't, don't change anything. Don't uncover it if it's covered. Don't cover it if it's uncovered. Tamati, we went over there. Blood, which has excess amount of blood, and the only way to remedy that is to cause it's dam to let the blood. I feel may seem it's going to die. Emikis on Saddam. Div Rabbi Yehuda don't do cause it's Saddam. According to Rabbi Yehuda, we say you do cause it's Saddam. But I should say, but mum as long as you don't make a mum, obviously you can't literally make a mum in it. If you did make a mum, you should not use that mum to shecht it, okay, because that's it's like a zera. Rabbi Shimon Omer Yakis. Rabbi Shimon says no. Just like here, he says by Truma Tluya there's no din shmir. There he says thereby an animal in danger of dying. Yakis, you should do a cause Saddam. Even though you're going to make a move, in other words, you don't have to be careful not to make a move. For Rabbi Shem, Rabbi Lezer said, "Ask Rabbi Yehuda Krem Gamliel." That Rabbi Yehuda said that Emekis Adam is like Rabbi Gamliel over here. Don't change anything. Rabbanon and the Rabbanon are like Rabbi Eliezer. Rabbanon say that you have to still be shomer it. That's like Rabbi Eliezer who says over here that if it was uncovered, cover it. If it was a plain makam tzubra, yerchem makam mutzna. Rabbi Shimon over there says no, that's not a problem. Even though you can make a mum, that's like Rabbi Shimon over here who says that. If it's covered, you can uncover it. If it's in place, which is shamor, you can put it in makam turpa. What type of Shem Rabbi Shimon? Didn't we learn the name Rabbi Shimon there? Yaki's Apishum Skave Lasos Boom Boom. You can do Akosam even though you have in mind to make a mum, and that's much more direct than Rabbi Yeshua's Kula here, who just allows you to uncover it, not to actually make Mikame the Tluyi B'Yadayim. As Rabbi Yeshua, the Chavis Achraya goes like Rabbi Yeshua of the Chavis Shnia. That's who said you're allowed to be Mikame the Truma B'Yadayim in order to say, with the wine. Truma Ta'ira Chavis Shayan Chavis of Yayin. So Truma Shenishbar, they're allowed to B'Yadayim in order to say the Chulin Tmeim. That Rabbi Shimon there by Bechor is much more like Rabbi Yeshua of Chavis Shnia. Amar Ibn Barachia, Rabbi Zira, Ibn Barachia said there is a depot there. No, Rabbi Shimon perhaps not talking about Bechor. Perhaps he's talking about specifically by Shlomim. Because anyway, he's going to have to replace them. He made a nether. Because Rabbi Shimon. And therefore, since he has to replace it, according to Rabbi Shimon, you're allowed to do it. And this evidently is Rabbi Shimon L'Shitoso. So there's another Kavanaki from Baba Kama Daf Ayin Dal on the base that holds the Chachish Chai Berchus is called Mum and Hedyot. And therefore, when you make a mum, then you don't have the problem of there's not a problem of putting mum into it because it's your money. You save it. If you can save it to bring this carbon, fine. If you can't save it, so you have to bring another one anyway. I think that's so. If Rabbi Shem Rabbi Shimon Lakish, what's the name of Shem Rabbi Lakish? Time of Rabbi Yehuda. What's the logic of Rabbi Yehuda who says let it die? The Chesiv says Rak Islamo Lo Tochel Al Artish Chanakamayim. Don't eat its blood by Bechor Ba'amum. Let it spill on the water on the ground like water. Lo Yitayich Domo Elo L'Shavcho. Fascinating idea. I only allowed you the blood to spill when you shecht it. I didn't allow you to make his dam. So because I'm a Shinisa Raisa, the special Kiddush, that now we make his dam because only the shvicha which comes, which the time of shchita is mutter, not any other bloodletting. Okay. Mesa Rabbi Abba Mori, Achui Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Abba Mori, the brother Rabbi Yossi asked, for Psul Mikdash Ksiv by Psul Mikdash says Rakadam Loschel Artish Kanakomorim. So that's the case by Psul Mikdashim also, even though it's possible already. Right? So it should be also to be Maki's dam. Because it says same idea. So why would there not be an Isra Kaza by Psul Mikdashim? Only by Bechor. So and evidently only by Bechor, which is not yet a Balmum. So therefore, that pasuk cannot be learned that way. It must be that we don't learn from our Tzishbechid Kamayim. That is not coming for Sarakaza, and in all likelihood, it's a Rabbanon. Okay, says the Gemara. Amrei B'chir Abba L'achshir Itamarta. By Bechor Ba'amum, there is an Isra Kaza. Actually, he's answering. He's saying there's no question. Yes, each one of the Kaka could be here by Bechor Ba'amum that's teaching us an Isra Kaza. And the Oretz Yishchan Kamayim, which is used over there by Psul Mikdashim, is coming for another purpose. It's going to tell us that it's lahachshir, in other words, that it's the abdam which comes from the blood of Psul Mikdashim is machshir kamayim. In other words, don't think its blood is different than any other blood. Ma mayim machshirim, avdam machshir. Or perhaps that's actually the source for dami machshir altogether. Voshem Yochanan says, "Shteim the seven mashkim who are mitame yad shachadam." So it's the Rosh Tevas. So one of them is dam. So I guess this is the makor. It's just going to come out. It's the source. Yeah. The Voshem Yochanan said, "Ushneim mikra echad darshu." Both Rabbanan and Rabbi Shimon who argue on Rabbi Yehuda, darshan same pasuk. Tami yeh l'ratzon kol mum yeh bo. The b'chor should be for accepted as a shem shamayim, and it should not have any mum in it. When it's ratzon, then you can't put a mum. In other words, it's really like krava. When it's not l'ratzon, so then you're allowed to put a mum in it. And here, not l'ratzon, because it's going to die. Evidently, that's not going to be l'ratzon because it's not going to be l'ratzon. It's not going to be able to do l'ratzon korban. Right? Kol, even a kula mum, even if it's imminently going to die, then it doesn't matter. You still can't make a mum in it. So the way the Kamaroki explains it is Tami Ratzon Kol Mum, even if it has any mum, it should be you should make Kol Mum, even if it has a mum already, Kol Mum Le'ebo. You shouldn't put a mum in it. So here we're talking about now it actually has a mum, it's about to die. And I don't know if actually we would take it also to the extent of a b'chor which already has one mum, we shouldn't give it another mum. I think it's only specifically over here where it's about to die that, nevertheless, I want to say, that mum shouldn't make another mum besides that. Okay. It says the next part of the Mishnah is about chavish shenishbara b'gasol yoina, and tachtoit me'ah. This is the famous right now famous chavish shnia. The Gemara says, Rabbi Charba Ukva b'shem Rabbi Yisrael China, Kli shebetocho tar v'charav tamei. You have a keli where the inside is tar and the outside is tamei, and this is of course a tar kli which became tamei b'tumas mashkin, which is tumah d'Rabbanan, and chacham remeko. In that case, the outside is tamei, the inside is not tamei. Ein mitamim bo dover memuat. We don't use it in order to save the small amount, right? So what is he saying here? The assumption is that we're talking about the chavish shel truma Torah, which broke in the upper part of the wine press, and the bottom part of the wine press is chulun tamei. We want to save, and you only have a kli which is the inside is Torah and the outside is tamei, where you can save most of the truma, but you're likely going to make some of the truma, which falls outside the keli, tamei by touching the back of the keli. So Be'eser China says you can't use this kli to be matzil, even though it's going to cause you to not be matzil altogether, and everything's going to become tamei in the bor hatachta, right? Nevertheless, it says tered v'titamei aitamei yodav, and don't use it. And he's saying, and don't use kli, which is even though only the chorayim is tamei, you still can't use it. And so anytime about davar muad, I feel it's a davar muad. You can't be matamei davar muad, even it's going to davar muad, even though only a little bit of fall on the outside of the keli, and you're going to save a lot of it, right? Which is going to go on the inside keli. Can't use it. And didn't we learn in our Mishnah to teir v'tamei al-tamei b'yodav? So you're not being matamei b'yodai. Right. Let's say teir v'tamei al-tamei b'yodav. It's not b'yodayim. Something's going to spill outside the keli. It's not that we should do it deliberately. So why is it an issue? That's what Rambam is talking about where you have two kelim. Echad gadol tocho tar. You have one which is large, and its inside is tar and its outside is tamei. An echad, and you have another kli which is small, which is tocho. It says in the Gemara tamei. What's going here? So the article, that's the art. The Gerson of Vilna is again. So it's a very difficult Gersa, and the Kavanaki in the name of the near changes it, and it says it should be Echad Tocho Tar v'Tachor Tmeim, ve'Echad Tocho v'Chorav Tmeim. So you have the large keli, which you can save a lot, but the outside is tummy, and you have the small keli, which can save very little, but it's tar on both the inside and the outside. Madamas Nisa, that which, and this is it says in article Mahade in the film the Mahade Masnisa B'Kli Echad Tameh. So the Kamanaki is very slightly different. Mahade Masnisa. No, it's not Mahade Masnisa, but Mahade Masnisa B'Kli Echad Tameh. It's what the Mishnah is talking about is when you have a Kli Echad, one Keli, which is Tameh. So the Kli, which is Tameh, you should never use. Let's elaborate that. Reis says about two kelim. One is large with a chorom maim, and one is small when it's tar. So in that case, you should save a little bit and forget about the lot. Our mission is when you only have one keli, and you're going matzah with this keli, even though it's a chorom tmeim, and Elazar says no, you can't do it, even though the inside is tar, still can't use it. So the Rabbi Yosef Chama say talking about saying that even according to this, the way to understand the Mishnah is our Mishnah is says Yami Tami Yadayim was mean don't use a kli tame, even if it's large and the inside is tar. That if you should use a small keli, even though it's even though the amounts as much because it's completely tar. That's the way the Gersa is going to work according to Kavanaki. Well, I want to check on Shai Torah, see what his Gersa is, and the Mashbiach. Okay, so Shai Torah's Gersa is similar. Amar Shul B'Rebrecha Tipater, that which Rabbi Yisrael is talking about is Vishnei Kelim. Echad Tocho Tohar V'Chorot Meim. What is Tocho Tohar outside is Tomei? Echad Tocho Tomei. Oh no, that's what it says. That's Gersa. It's talking about Echad Tocho Tohar, like the Gersa Gra. Because we never found anywhere a kli which is tocho tamei and a chorav torim. So it's a kli which is tocho tar and a chorav tamei, and the chorav tamei. Yeah, it's the same idea basically. You should not use a kli which is a chorav tamei, even though a lot, because you might be matami davar muat. You should use a kli which is kli tar, even though you're going to save a little. And then madam asisam kli echo tamei. That which it says according to Rabbi Shua, you can save. Even that would say about we have no klitar, and you can't save even revius betara, and that taka is that Rabbi Shua says you still use your matzah betuma, and Rabbi Yeshua says you can't be matzah betuma. Okay, so the that a kli. So basically, what he said, I don't think he's not adding this on, but I realized it just now. But it says item yadayim, you should still, if you have a keli which is a chorav tmeim and inside is tar, even quite less, you should still use it. Matzah whatever you can. That which you can't use according to the Mishnah is a keli which is completely tamei. And Rabbi Yossi, again, Rabbi Chanina is saying, yeah, and you have a choice: a keli which is completely tar but small, or a keli which is large, but its outside is tamei. Use kli which is inside is, even though it's small, because you don't want to be korein tuma, even and from the outside of the keli. That's the mahalach of the sugya. Okay, and that brings us to Rabbi Mona, which is a different answer. So we'll leave that for